Good day, everyone. Today I will be presenting my lesson on the classification of animals using the field trip method. This lesson was done with grade 8 students, and the goal was to help them understand how we classify animals based on observable characteristics. So first, we started off with a discussion in class about what is classification of animals. I explained that classification is a grouping of animals based on their observable characteristics, such as their body covering, the number of legs, the method of reproduction, their habitat, and warm-blooded or cold-blooded. I further discussed the two main types of classification of animals, which are vertebrates and invertebrates. Vertebrates being animals with backbone, invertebrates being animals that do not have backbone. We then went through this chart to further demonstrate the different groups of animals. I told them the groups we'll be looking at today are vertebrates. We then went through the major groups for the vertebrates, which are mammals, birds, reptiles, amphibians, fish, and insects, and we discussed the characteristics of each. After discussion, I broke the news to them and told them that we will be going outside on a little field trip in the school compound, which they were very excited about. For this lesson, I used a short walk around the school compound. The purpose of the field trip was to allow students to observe real animals in their natural school environment. Instead of only seeing pictures, students were able to collect first-hand information and practice real scientific observations. These are the materials used during the field trip. Each student was given an observation and classification table. They were required to record the animal they observed, where they found it, the animal group it belongs to, and one reason why it belongs to that group. This is what the observational table looks like. Before we left the classroom, we went through some field trip observation tips. I reminded the students to move quietly to avoid chasing away animals. I also instructed them not to touch any animals for safety reasons. They were told to observe carefully and write down everything immediately so they would not forget. Each of them were also given magnifying glass to make closer observations. After the walk, which lasted about 15 to 20 minutes, students returned to the classroom where they analyzed their observations and began the classification process. I guided them by reminding them of the major characteristics of each group and by showing them the chart that we discussed earlier. Students then completed their tables and shared what they found with the class. Coming down to the end of the lesson, I highlighted why classification is important. It helps scientists identify animals correctly, compare different species, and organize information. It also helps with conservation efforts and allows us to better understand the diversity of life around us. To close off the lesson, I asked questions such as, why is bird not a reptile? Just to make sure they grasp the concept. In conclusion, animals have different features, and these features help us to classify them into groups. That field trip helped the students to practice real scientific observation, and they were so excited and learned so much that day.